Thank you for continuing to watch this course, and we're going to get right into if statements. If statements are really great because it allows you to do tasks conditionally if one thing is true or one thing is false. So let's get right into it. Generally speaking, your syntax is going to start with an if, and then you're going to have some sort of logic here. So let's put 5 plus 5 equals 10, colon, and then you're going to do something. So let's look at this a little bit more. It is going to evaluate whatever you put here, okay? So it's asking, is 5 plus 5 10? And notice we have two equals because we're not assigning a value of 10. If you saw some variable, we typically will write my var equals 10, right? And this is because we're defining the variable to hold the value of 10. In this situation, we're just checking if 5 plus 5 equals 10, and the way we do that syntactically in Python is to use two equals, okay? So if 5 plus 5, let's delete this, equals 10, we're going to print we are inside the if block. Let's run it and see, there you go. We are inside the if block, okay? And that's it. So the syntax, remember, is if, put some thing to evaluate in here with a colon, then you indent in the if statement, and you put whatever you want to do. And you can put as much stuff as you want. You can say print I am before the second print line. The important thing though, see, and it'll work, but it only works if they're all indented the same amount. So that's very important to keep in mind, okay? So let's get into the else part of if statements. What if this part isn't true? So let's say is not equal to 10. And the way that is exclamation point equals 10. What this does is check if whatever you're evaluating is not equal to 10. Then we're going to say we are inside the if block again. We get nothing, right? Because 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. So it's not going to even enter this block because this just said if 5 plus 5 is not equal to 10, so this is going to be false. This part right here is false. 5 plus 5 is not equal to 10. And you could say that out loud. We know that that's a false statement, so it's not going to go there. So if we go to else, we could say print we are inside the else block. Okay? And if we were to run this, we will get we are inside the else block because it's checking if this is true. Okay, this isn't true, else you're going to do this. Else blocks are not mandatory for if statements, as we just saw. You could do an if statement without an else, okay? One more thing we could do is elif, or else if. You'll hear in other programming languages, there's a lot of different syntaxes for it, but it goes elif in Python, and then it's going to have some sort of logic in here. So we'll say 5 plus 5 equals 10. Then we're going to say print we are inside the elif block. Okay? And the elif block is the exact same thing as the if statement, but it's just elif, and then you put whatever you want to evaluate. Now the else is going to happen regardless. So you don't put anything in here for the else statement. You don't need it's not evaluating anything. It's just defaulting to that if everything else above here is false. So what do you think is going to happen in this? Just try to think about it, and that'll let us run it. It's going to say we're in the elif block, right? Because it first goes, okay, is 5 plus 5 not equal to 10? No, this part's false. This statement's false. Elif, 5 plus 5 equals to 10. Oh, that is true. So now we're going to execute this, and then we don't even hit the else because it's already evaluated this if block. Okay? So if we're going to do one more thing and say 5 plus 5 equals 9. So if 5 plus 5 is not equal to 10, we are inside the if block. Elif, 5 plus 5 equals to 9, well, that's not true. So it's going to skip this, and it's going to keep on going. So if we were to run, we should get we are inside the else block, right? Because this, false, false. So by default, it goes to the else. If we were to get rid of this, what do you think is going to happen? Nothing, because neither of these are true. Okay? So it's just not going to do anything because it can't go inside of those blocks. All right, so that's it for if statements. This is, much more technical than the other ones we've gone through. It's good to practice with a lot of different scenarios. So that's what I would suggest. And, there's obviously a lot more we can do with determining these. Right here, we could do greater than or equal. We could do less than or equal. We could just do less than. So feel free to play around with a lot of different things. Okay.